GTC and I'm joined by Mike Geyer from NVIDIA. How you doing, Mike?
I'm good, how's it going?
Good, really good. It's been a really great week so far.
Yeah, it's a blast.
I was excited to talk to you. We speak to you every year about the industrial side of things and more and more AI factories. In fact, the keynote touched on AI factories quite a bit. It was featured quite prominently, and industrial automation, which is all, that's your bag.
Yeah.
What's exciting you about those announcements?
Yeah, I mean, I think that one of the big exciting things, Rafi, is just the backdrop, right? We're at the point where we're undergoing the biggest industrialization in the history of mankind.
Wow.
One of the biggest the biggest infrastructure build out in the history of mankind. And right now at this event, it really feels like we're at a tipping point for agents being able to take on so much of the work that is really slowing us down and holding us back.
Yeah, and that agent workflow is beautifully realized in Hall 1.
Yeah.
Sort of showing the end-to-end, the product range from the hardware, that's the new DGX hardware, the Spark configurations, the robotic stuff, but there's a whole wall that talks about the ecosystem, and we've even got this one here, the MGX ecosystem. So tell me a little bit about this.
Yeah, so I mean, that's kind of NVIDIA's core thing, right, is the ecosystem. So Jensen talked about it, we're vertically integrated and horizontally open, so that anybody in the ecosystem can come in at any time and take advantage of the technology. And if you think back to 3 years ago, when we first met, that was the first time GTC had been in person for 3 years.
That's right.
And if you think about walking around the hall, some of the companies that had small booths then now have massive booths. We won't name any names, but the opportunity is phenomenal. And it's really about bringing that accelerated compute to everybody that is solving hard problems.
Right.
And kind of the way I think about it is the problems that even 6 weeks ago were hard are now easy. The problems that were impossible are actually now going to be within reach. And so much of what's coming is this ability to not just have an agent that answers questions or a chat bot, but they can actually do work for you. And so anybody that hasn't experienced the OpenShell, the OpenClaw, this is a completely new paradigm. This isn't just help me with some speaking points or help me do some market research. This is assemble a team of developers, a team of QA, validation engineers, and go build software for me.
Yeah.
It's really exciting. Yeah.
In fact, what you just described there about engineers and developers assembling those teams, that's something that, at SCAN, the teams put their expertise in hardware into building out data centers, which has parallels to what you're talking about there, right? And they have in-house data scientists and developers that look at the entire software stack and see where it most appropriately applies to the to that build out. So for you, what are some of the examples that you think sort of show that potential really well, the combination of software and hardware?
Yeah, I think you really hit it on the head. Is what's exciting is where the interface happens between bits and atoms. So whether it's going from real to sim, so scanning reality and turning that into a digital twin, or taking the digital twin, training your robot, building your models, testing your robot, and then bringing automation back. So it's that real to sim and then also sim to real. And I think that's the place where personally I've even been experimenting with some of the agentic stuff, writing utilities that can convert an E57 point cloud into a segmented mesh, something that looks like Minecraft. It's really rudimentary, but it's something I could do in a couple days with basically no experience as a developer being a mechanical engineer.
And that has utility, right? Because you're getting answers to things using that process, spatial stuff, right? Proximity, scale, much earlier in the process. So whether you're taking an existing physical space and updating it, planning that before you make any changes, figure it out in a digital twin of it. Or if you haven't built a factory yet, sort of fabricating it entirely virtually.
You got it,
And then you have a lot of things answered that you're not going to encounter some expensive problems down the line when you start building.
Yeah, absolutely. Like avoid the expensive problems down the line, like you said. Also be able to test all the different variations. So rather than, I have a couple options, just open up the problem space completely and test all the options.
Right.
And I think we're going to see that for things like AI factories and large industrial facilities, warehouses, and logistics, that problem space exploration is going to become really, really exciting.
Right, and just to go back to what you said earlier about 3 years ago when we first met, some of the stuff that was talked about was vision and at the time felt like theoretical.
Yeah.
But you're so right. Now that I think back, that what's on display in Hall 1 and those companies that you talked about that
It's
are
amazing, right? Yeah.
showing actual products, physical and software, it's becoming a reality. So that 3-year cycle is has really manifested itself in this new boom.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What do you think will be sort of where we're headed maybe when we meet again in a year's time?
It's a really good question. It's something I've been thinking a lot about, and it's really hard to predict because things are changing so fast. What I feel is that the bulk of the work is not going to be in providing solutions or in people coming together. I think the solutioning is going to become the easy part, and it's going to be exploring the problem space. It's going to be setting the objectives, setting the intent, defining what you want that group of agents to go and do for you.
Yeah.
So it's really about understanding problems, understanding domains, and going and really pushing things forward in all of these industries. I think we're going to see the research fields advance incredibly quickly. We're already seeing some examples in biomedical, in material science, but anywhere there's been hard research problems, I think that next 6 to 12 months is just going to be completely eye-opening.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. That's best principles, right? You figure out what the problem is, what you're looking to solve, where the pain points are. And that's true for research as it is for the enterprise space, right? What are you looking to achieve? Like, we've got all this tech, otherwise it's just tech for tech's sake.
Exactly.
And we've got to the point now where we've explored the potential of this stuff. We know it can really move the needle. Now we just got to define which parts we want to transform. That's great.
I think it's why also people like yourself and Scan are so important, because they help a lot of us look across the problem space. They help a lot of us understand domains that we may not necessarily have access to. So please keep it up and help us all understand what problems we can go solve next.
Awesome. Thanks so much for your time, Mike. And if you like this, be sure to check out our GTC 2026 playlist on YouTube. And for more information on all the announcements from GTC 2026, head to scan.co.uk/GTC.